Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and I hope you have Rudy Giuliani in your thoughts and prayers as he has fallen ill. And we're getting updates as best we can over that. We've got Senate hearings coming up on, I guess I can say it because it's official business of the United States Congress, Operation Mockingbird. And how many times have I discussed this Midas trash situation? So anyway, now it is in the scope of concern, I'll put it that way, of the Trump boys and Big Daddy Trump himself. But anyway, what do? I play videos while people come in so they can get themselves a nice cold brouhaha or a hot cup of coffee or an adult beverage of their choice, whatever it is they want. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and then what will we do? We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Trump has been suspended from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even Snapchat. But don't worry, Mr. President, there are still plenty of apps you do have access to. You still have Spotify to drown out the sound of millions of people cheering as you leave. Google, Apple, and Amazon removed the Parler app from their platforms. Parler is where all the right-wingers gather to post QAnon nonsense and misspell the word parlor. Trumpers are complaining bitterly that they're being silenced. In fact, they won't shut up about being silenced.
I love having Donald Trump off Twitter, not to mention all the other toxic racists and conspiracy theorists that have been booted off.
Oh, damn! A lifetime Twitter ban has got a sting. They took away his precious. Twitter isn't the only social media site that wants nothing to do with our president. He's also been banned or restricted from a bevy of other platforms, including Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Reddit, and even Twitch. What are you waiting for, Pornhub? It's not a coincidence. It's a consequence. I know it's hard for you to recognize it because you've never faced one before.
Lifetime ban.
How many of these guys are history or on the way out?
Pete Rose of social media. Right now, Trump's phone is stuffed into a pile of rice after being drenched with tears. In addition to Twitter, Trump has been banned or restricted from Apple, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Google, Amazon, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, Twitch, Stripe, Discord, and Shopify. Trump started this year thinking he should be on Mount Rushmore. Now he can't even get on Instagram.
How have our lives changed since Trump has been banned from Twitter? Well, I thought we'd take a quick look outside and see, has the world changed since our president has been banned from Twitter? Let's just look outside and see what's going on.
What kind of dirt's he got going on? What's his dirt?
I like it.
Elon Musk is in the middle of purchasing Twitter. Well, today, Musk said that one of the first things he would do after the acquisition goes through is lift the permanent Twitter ban on Donald Trump. I tell you what, banning Trump was like one of the few kind of almost good things Twitter's done in like a decade. Is that Donald Trump is a scam account. It's all a scam.
I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. The storm's on.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off. Payback time. Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the
identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time. He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies. Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. How is everyone doing? I discussed the top 3 things there. We'll get into every one of them, hopefully, as we go through this couple hours of broadcasting. But on the bottom, I have EU, Iran, Cuba, sanctions. What do all 3 of these organizations have in common? EU, Iran, and Cuba. They're all Marxist-centered extortionists and thugs that are focused on a new world order and the destruction of our democratic republic. So they should be sanctioned, okay? They're extortionists and thugs. Hi, Darla. Nice to see you. Tammy, nice to see you. Elva. Sinsin. Sissy. Nice to see you. Cole's here. Is Tammy here? Because we got to get the younger gang, right? So Sherry's here. Robin's here. Hi, Robin. And there's Tammy. Yeah. All right. LC, nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Love that Zach song. Oh, well, I mixed things up a little bit. I'm just reminding everybody how they were celebrating our censorship of what we were saying. And they got new methods now. New methods, which I'll discuss. Wayne, nice to see you. All right. Yeah, they got a way of pushing some people forward. Hi, Greg. And smashing some people down. Now, I can't complain because I've never been monetized. Flannel Cheese, nice to see you. And you can't blame them. I mean, it's a business. They got to get their ad revenue and stuff like that. And I was thinking, well, maybe I ought to get monetized. You know, clean up my act. Because then they would promote your channel because it's a business. But I'm seeing some weird things going on about people getting demonetized. Mac, nice to see you. Miss Mendersu dropped a Moab just before I went live. Whoa, what in the world? Miss Mendersu. Then kaboom. Let me get a kaboom in there. Kaboom. So, yeah. I'll put my link in. Mr. Kennedy, how you doing? Sandman, nice to see you. Let's see. Where was I? Scott's here. Let's see. Elva's here. Scott's here. Sin, where you been? Sin. So there's Miss Mendersu. All right, I'm back where I started. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. So anyway, Adam Francisco, the young man I talked about who had a kidney transplant. I just a few minutes ago watched a video where he got demonetized. And you know, he's always been, you know, talking nicely of YouTube. And so anyway, we'll talk about that. I don't know why that happened, but we shall see what is the result of that. I hope he gets straightened out because he puts a lot of work in his videos. Don't we all, right? So anyway, you know, I had a clip. I got to put this up. This was on True Social of Todd Blanche. And he said just what we were thinking. There's more to the Comey story than just his seashells, right? They've got other evidence. Those of you who've been with me for a long time, how many times have you heard me say that if they uncover communications concerning, harming, or worse, the President of the United States or members of his family, what would happen? The you know what would hit the fan, not for us, but for them, the three-letter agencies. And it would be de facto taken over by who? MI, military intelligence, right, folks? So anyway, I didn't get a chance to squeeze in there that Trump is going to be escorting vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. But I tell you, I was rattled by Rudy. He had a live stream up last night. Just last night, or night before last, I'm sorry, Friday night. I saw it. He may have been up last night too. And he has suffered. He has suffered. He's been financially devastated. They've drug his reputation through the mud. He was right about everything. And that takes a physical toll on you. People do get hurt by this illegal psychological warfare campaigns and the incitement of public hostility. Remember the Brennan email alleged that he sent out saying, we'll be after him so much he will stroke out. When will we see that email? Because he is under investigation in Florida, a Florida grand jury. Now, we'll hear all the talk go from, you must respect the judge's rulings. You must respect what a grand jury said. We'll see how quick that goes to, oh, no, this isn't right. No, the courts are rigged. When it's not going their way. What is wrong with these damn people? We're holding right under their nose how they're trying to destroy this cabal, these crooked or captured politicians, weak-minded politicians are allowing foreign entities to infiltrate our government and our media to tear down our way of life and lower the population, make you eat bugs, and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, we got so many stories to cover. Let's, here's what Trump posted, I don't know, about an hour ago about Rudy Giuliani. And I wonder if Midas Trash Network, they claim they're being threatened. How many times have you heard me talk about them? Be honest with me in the chats. Have you heard anybody else on our side discuss at any depth how severe and how putrid Midas Trash Network has been and other than me? Yes, sir, you heard somebody else talking about it. No, if you didn't. But anyway, here it is about Rudy.
Fox News alert. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has now been hospitalized in critical but stable condition. In a statement to Fox News Digital, a representative to the former mayor says, quote, Mayor Giuliani is a fighter who has faced every challenge in his life with unwavering strength, and he's fighting with that same level of strength as we speak. We do ask that you join us in prayer for America's mayor. We'll continue to monitor his condition and bring you any updates, of course, praying for him.
So that's the last update I got. And if people, can kind of keep an eye out for updates, if there are any, I would. We all would appreciate it. We all like Rudy Giuliani. And respect him, no matter what these animals have been saying. Let me see if I can find Trump's post. I'll have to come across it as I, let me see if this is it. Oh, no, this is the Iran proposal. I will soon be reviewing a plan that Iran has just sent to us. I can't imagine it would be acceptable in that they have not yet paid a big enough price for what they have done to humanity and the world over the last 47 years. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And these people that are behind this cabal, they haven't even begun to pay a price for all the damage they've caused. And Rudy Giuliani is one example. And he's a hardened prosecutor. He's someone who's been through the ringer. Trump put up, we cannot allow there to be an election that is conducted unconstitutional simply for the convenience of state legislatures. If they have to vote twice, so be it. We should demand that state legislators do what the Supreme Court says must be done. That is more important than administrative convenience, especially if the administrators are a bunch of foot-dragging bureaucrats that don't want to follow the law and want to have discriminatory districts. The byproduct is that the Republicans will receive more than 20 House seats in the upcoming midterms. President Donald J. Trump. It's going to be a thumping. We got to keep up the momentum. A well-deserved thumping. Well-deserved. Let me see what, Hi, Outlandish. Jerry, nice to see you. I got a no. Ha, 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 thank you, right? Sissy said yes. Oh, all right, you're responding to Sherry. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't work, LC Creations. It's let me put a link. I believe they disabled the what do you call it? Description link for I guess they want me to monetize, but what I can do is, and what I usually do is put it in the I'll put it in the chats right now. So it should work. And since you brought it up, oh my goodness, where's my chat view? Here we go. Because I usually forget. I usually forget till I'm halfway through the broadcast. So I went ahead and put a link in at the 19-minute mark, let's call it. And yeah, that should work. That should work. There we go. Show chat view. There we go. Yeah, it's in there. There you go. That ought to work for you. And since we're on the subject, like I said, Miss Mendersu went and dropped a Moab. Kapow! And also Robin started off the month. Where's my bomb? Kapow! boom, Robin, and Mike and Bev. I'll give them some fast ones, boom, 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 and Wayne. Wayne said thanks in capital letters, kapow, kapow. So I do appreciate everybody that helping out this month for Buy Me a Coffee. Oh, and Hilarious too. I haven't seen Hilarious too in a while. I got to give her a bomb. I got to give her a kaboom. For you, Hilarious too. Kapow. So, yeah, I appreciate it, folks. All right, and you get your name on the list if you get in there. So, anyway, let's see if we get any updates on Rudy. I kind of try to keep my eye on the chats. But anyway, what's this Midas Trash Pail Network? What are they crying about? They're good people. They're nice people, aren't they? They report the news. They have attorneys as guests, people that are licensed or past the bar or whatever. So they know what they're talking about, right? Here's what caught my eye today. Trump threatens Midas. I was looking for a clip of it. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I wasn't going to click on their video to find out because they already had 711,000 views. Do you think they're going to get demonetized? I doubt it. You think they're getting suppressed in the viewership? I doubt it. How did Trump threaten you, Midas? You all are so nice. Look at some of these. Here we go. I said to myself the other night, I'm not going to show this stuff anymore. But hey, not quite a prophecy, but a prediction, okay? I'm a messenger. I can predict. Like when a piano falls out of a window, I can predict that we're going to hear a big bam in a minute, okay? It's kind of easy to predict. Trump's health collapses as he crashes out. I got these earlier today. How much longer? Supporter sounds, let's say something. Alarm. Supporter sounds alarm. How much longer? Look at the picture of Trump bent over. And the next one showing him half asleep. A massive protest. Those protests were a damn flop. Okay? And they exposed how weak this Marxist system is and how much they infiltrated government-funded programs like the Department of Education. And we're taking names, okay? We're going to get rid of people that are abusing taxpayer funds for purposes of pushing Marxism. Entire world protests him. Entire world. It was a joke. A bunch of dirty bums and whacked out young people wandering around squealing and screaming. Donald is scared. Trump rushes out of the White House as war still haunts him. What the hell is this? Now, Adam Francisco, they demonetized him because I think it was something like his content was inauthentic or something like that. Fed up Navy commander reveal Hegseth war secrets. I can't stay quiet. Oh, survivors come forth. In New Mexico, come forward, New Mexico. And there they had that same old beat up damn picture from 35 years ago. Epstein, New Mexico ranch investigation explodes as survivor. No. Nobody should be concerned about you and a psyop and the drumming up public hostility. Disaster Donald, numbers Donald. Fox calls it quits. Trump calls it quits on Trump in shock new poll. Yeah, you're out of your minds. Fake polls. We know that. Trump panics over his deposition. Now, have you heard anything? Has anybody heard anything credible about this? Trump panics over his deposition in emergency motion. Deposition coming soon. Emergency filing made. What the hell are they talking about? By who? You can't just call the president of the United States in for a damn deposition, and they should know that. They call him out. EU generals torch Trump as he pulls troops from NATO. Trump said, worry about your own damn country. Quit worrying about Iran. You don't want to help. Worry about fixing your own wrecked country. That's what he said. GOP leader switches parties. I hadn't heard that. Trump tanks in polls. Trump threatens media. There we go again. Trump panics and his entire family threatens Semitis. Well, let me tell you, they don't threaten, they promise. All right. Here we go. Nice purple tie, Eric. I like that purple tie. Now, maybe Don Jr. did it on the podcast. I don't know. Breaking Eric. Oh, Eric Trump, they say. Threatened to sue Midas Touch. Read why and see. I'm not clicking over there. I'll find out if when the you know what hits the fan. And hey, you better get your pile of gold ready. Midas Touch. Everything you touch turns to gold. Well, you better start touching some stuff. I'll put it that way. I had some past clips from this bunch I could go find. Here's his sister. Look at her. That's the way they're all starting to look. They're all starting to look like they've been on a long drunk. They're stressed out, freaked out. All of them, even that pack of clowns over my trash network, frothing at the mouth and prattling and babbling. I will not stand by. Guess where she is? She's on the Greta Gaza flotilla. Oh, you mean the boat they found full of drugs and all kinds of stuff people, I don't know, S3 actual items. Who knows what you all freaks are up to. So, but hey, good luck. I don't know where you're at. I hope you're in an Israeli prison. And I hope you're there to the duration of the conflict. That's just my opinion. She is a head case. Hi, Lori. How you doing? Let's see. Oh, trying to contribute very hard. The link should take you right to there. Take you right to there. You can even go without donating just to see what the page looks like and become a follower. So anyway, let's see. I guess you all saw this picture, right? Isn't this nice for a leading member of Congress? I was going to I might do something with that picture in the future. He looks like, that angle of that shot, he looks like he's about 4 foot tall. And he's trying to look tough. What did Trump say about him? Hakeem, he said he was just a thug. Where is it at? Hakeem Jeffries, with a baseball bat, said that the Supreme Court was illegitimate. Now, they tried to impeach Trump. Here it is. Hakeem Jeffries, a low IQ individual, ain't that the truth? Said our Supreme Court is illegitimate. After saying such a thing, isn't he subject to impeachment? I got impeached for a perfect phone call. Where are you, Republicans? Why not get it started? They'll be doing this to me, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, they've already done it twice. Failed, but they've done it twice. Anybody in the chat from California? Boy, there's a guy you all got to support. I might even support him from afar, if that's allowed. I don't know. I'm sure it is. Somehow support him. Anybody in the chat from California? I'm looking. Oh, yeah. Do me a favor and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That helps the video to get around. We'll get more people viewing during the live stream. Because I got a campaign ad that I think is very good. And if you get a chance, you can clip it and send it to other people. What is this cat's name? I'm not from California. That's parts known instead of parts unknown. So I'm not there. What is his name? Parnas? Let me find him. What in the world did I do? Here he is. Here he is. His name is, Spencer Pratt. I'm thinking of that new guy on Midas Trash. They're giving, Sue, nice to see you. Felix, nice to see you. Yes, Sue lives in California. All right, well, look here. Do you know who this person is? Huh? Well, you're going to meet him right now. It's a banger of an ad. Would I get in trouble for inauthentic content? I don't know. Trump got all over Bill Maher for letting Gavin Newsom run over top of him. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this guy is running against Gavin Newsom.
Hey, Los Angeles, are you aware that socialists in LA city government are stealing your money?
We just finished doing a tour of the site with the Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration and our contractors to check out the installation of the 16 new modular homes that will include 64 interim housing beds. Northeast New Beginnings is only possible because my team and I worked to get a grant from the state, $16 million to build 64 new beds in Council District 1 of interim housing.
I'm sorry, what? $16 million for 64 beds?
$16 million to build 64 new beds?
That's $250,000 per bed.
It takes me a second to get my mic cut on a comment. Yeah, but she's not counting the 250 boxes of donuts every week. But anyway.
So let's forget the fact that the DEA reports that 90% of the homeless population in LA are hardcore criminal drug users.
Especially in Los Angeles, there's a lot of it. How many people are using illicit drugs in the homeless community? I would say it's incredibly high.
20%, 30%.
Of the overall problem?
Yeah.
Over 90%.
And let's pretend for a second that these people just had some medical bills come in all at once that made them lose their job, and that they're a single mom and they just need to float 3 to 6 months of paychecks to get back on their feet, 3 to 6 months of the median income, like $15,000 to $25,000. We're spending $250,000 per bed. You could just give them that money and they'd be set for 5 years. What the hell are we doing? These crazy socialists on the city council are legitimately just stealing our tax dollars and doling it out to their friends, and they rub it in your face too. She jokes about covering up the graffiti with the nice painting.
And obviously we're going to get rid of the graffiti and replace it with the nice paint job to make sure it's welcoming for everybody.
Meanwhile, fire victims in the Palisades are getting their burned out lots vandalized by commie street animals. All of your neighborhoods are riddled with tagging and garbage. No help for you, but we're gonna spend $16 million for 64 homeless people to not have to endure the hardship of seeing a bit of graffiti outside their $250,000 bed. 64 people? There are 64,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. This psycho socialist is bragging about spending $16 million of your money to cater to 0.01% of the homeless problem.
$16 million.
You think these socialists have any interest in solving this? Of course not. Who's vetting who goes into these housing units? Are they drug testing? Are these just going to turn into $250,000 air-conditioned fentanyl tents? Why not just give them the money? I'll tell you why. Because these corrupt DSA politicians can't steal it if they just give it as direct aid. Just like the fire aid scam. They'll never give an individual direct financial assistance. It always has to be laundered through one of Austin Miller's or Nithya Raman's NPOs so their friends can do God knows what with it. It goes to these companies that make these $250,000 units. It's all a scam. And notice, this isn't just Angelinos that are being robbed. She's using state grants.
My team and I worked to get a grant from the state.
So pay attention, folks. Socialists in Los Angeles are everybody's problem. Goblins like Eunice are gobbling up all your tax dollars, and they are coming for more. This is how socialism starts. Vague platitudes that feel nice and soften the language so the real problems never get addressed. It's the velvet glove for the iron fist. These are just people experiencing homelessness.
People experiencing homelessness?
Why do they always talk like this? Why can't they just talk like a normal person? Because socialists always lie. Always. We need to end this failed experiment and put a stop to this fraudulent waste of our tax dollars. If you live anywhere in California, you need to support my campaign for mayor of Los Angeles, because this theft of your tax dollars will only continue. Go to mayorpratt.com and help me put an end to this scam.
$16 million.
Mayor of Los Angeles, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know what you were running for. Now I know. So, yeah, I'd like to support that guy. He is telling like it is. Just a bunch of Marxists and commies. Lying and stealing. Moved away when you were 9. I love your trees. Yeah, well, we gotta help. We gotta help people like him. Really. I mean, even if it's, $5 or $10, people from around the country help him with his campaign, because that's what they do, except they're fake people. The $5 and the $10 come from taxpayer money through NGOs, but they stick people's names on that don't even know what the hell. Well, I didn't know I was given to that. Yeah, you did. Don't you remember? I gave 57 times? $10? I don't remember that. Yeah, you did. So they're a bunch of liars. So these May Day protests, what a damn joke. Here they are. Fox News put this up. May Day mobilization. Commie mobilization. It's a communist holiday. 600 groups. Democratic Socialists of America. BS. National Socialists. Okay? Just like Adolf had. That's what the NAZI party was, National Socialists. People's Forum. The Party for Socialism and Liberation. Yeah. Answer Coalition. Oh, Code Stink. 3,000 protests. $2 billion in revenue. Left-wing groups push May Day walk. Did y'all see any of this stuff going on? I mean, you always see them out there screaming and yelling because they don't have jobs. They don't have nothing else to do. But have you seen anything concrete from these people? Friday, I got a picture of Trump buzzing them with the Marine One. NBC Chicago obtained a copy of that curriculum, Chicago May Day curriculum, which includes teachers talking to students as young as preschool about social justice, transgender rights, and protest. in my opinion, and I've voiced it many times before, perverted notions and Marxist ideology. That all those things should, the Communist Control Act should prevent that. And lewd and lascivious conversations with children should cover everything else. All right? At the very least, we identify these people and get them out of schools. We don't, any government office. A Fox News digital investigation has identified a sprawling, quote, red-blue network. Yeah, right. With a combined annual revenue of about $2 billion. Yeah, that was the one I was supposed to put up first, but that's okay. So, yeah, here it is. Code stink. That's what I call it. Look at this guy. You want him teaching your kids peace with Iran. What do you think they do with this guy if they got a hold of him over there? Not just Iran, practically any other country. Despicable. New York Post put this up. Lefty protester arrested for disrupting Hegseth testimony. Peace with Iran. Yeah, they'll give you a peace, all right. A mushroom cloud if they could do it and get away with it. Here they are. Here's some more. Code stink. Peace with Iran. This is giving a voice and aid and comfort to the enemy. That's what this is. Propaganda for foreign powers. Who's this? Code stink. Co-founder Medea Benjamin, seen standing on a light pole on the streets of D.C. wearing a Peace with Iran shirt during May Day protests. It's a nonprofit that is part of a nonprofit. Broad network coalitions of organizations examined in the Fox News digital investigation. In an effort to fuel anti-American sentiment nationwide. I didn't see any helicopter shots of big crowds or nothing. Just little groups of freaks running around screaming and yelling. May 6th. Never mind May Day, May 1st. May 6th showdown. Gerrymander deal. This is when the Virginia Supreme Court's going to give a decision. And you may say, well, I thought they already did. Well, they decided not to certify the results. They froze everything until they could write their opinion. Supreme Court likely to rule on gerrymander this week. So, yeah, that's coming up. And they'll take it to the Supreme Court. So they'll fight tooth and nail. And that's why you have Hakeem Jeffries walk around with a baseball bat saying the Supreme Court is illegitimate. Because they're hanging on by their fingernails. They're hanging on by their fingernails. Let me see. I got a couple of clips of fake crapper. Fake crapper. Let me see. Which one should I play first? One of them says that he's just being a puke. Let me. Which isn't hard for him to do. Is this it? Oh, no. This isn't it. It's this one here. Here's fake crapper. Or real crapper. Piero on alleged gunman's motive target. Oh, okay. Let's see what Jake Crapper has to say about the gunman's motives when he went to the correspondence dinner. He didn't like the shrimp. It wasn't Trump.
I want to apologize for using this language, but he does say, quote, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes, unquote.
First of all, that's outrageous. I mean, there's a lot of other things you could have referred to. This guy is a hater. He hates Trump so much he wants to kill him.
Is he talking about Trump in that?
You're going to have to ask him that.
Okay.
I don't really care.
So let me ask you a question. President Trump.
Oh, so used it as an opportunity to repeat slander and libel from a blue sky radical. That's what he did. He used his time on air to repeat libel and slander. Just because some screwball put it in his so-called manifesto. Well, now, all right, Rudy Giuliani's in the hospital, but how many of y'all, or a lot of y'all, same era as I, remember Barney Frank? I couldn't stand Barney Frank. He was the most slimy, obnoxious liberal. Doesn't matter that he was gay. But he got in trouble with some intern, some underage boy, and wiggled out of that somehow. Or a very young boy, like maybe in his early 20s. Or there were rumors for sure about younger than that. But anyway, he's in hospice care. You know, you don't wish that on anybody. But apparently he's putting out the word as his life is ebbing away, and he's going to the place we all go, we've talked about before. We got to face ourselves, our judgment, our record. So anyway, he's saying that the left has gone too far. He's putting out the word. A little late in my book, but hey, who am I to judge? It's never too late. It's between him and Jesus Christ.
You are a progressive icon, but now you are expressing some reservations about where the progressive movement has gone. Tell us more.
Yes, I know. I've been trying to decide, by the way, personally, whether it's better to be an icon or an emoji. I haven't decided that yet. But as far as this is concerned, it's precisely because I have been on the left that I've undertaken this. I think we're in a situation where the mainstream, to my disappointment, for many years ignored inequality. And many of us fought to get inequality on the Democratic agenda. But the problem was, as we succeeded in bringing the mainstream of the left into a concern with inequality, we also enabled people who wanted to use that as a platform for a wide range of social and cultural changes, some of which the public isn't ready for. But even where I agree with them on the end, I think they make a mistake by taking the most controversial parts of the agenda and turning them into litmus tests. My example is same-sex marriage. Obviously, I've been working for gay rights, started in 1972 when I filed the bill. And we, in the movement to establish fairness for gay and lesbian and bisexual people, we picked to work on those issues which were more acceptable. We didn't get to marriage until after these other things had been resolved. And that's what I'm suggesting that we do today. The analog is male to female transsexuals playing sports designated for women. I understand there's a lot of anger about that, and I think in the interest of the transgender community, as well as others, it would be better to go at that in a more granular way and not simply announce that if you don't support it, you're a homophobe.
Well, better late than never on some of those issues. But, you know, with every politician I say it, a lot of them sat there and lorded over the erosion and destruction of our system and our school system. So many kids can't even read and write. and they're being told that they should get a prize for waking up in the morning, and they believe everything they believe is that's been drilled in their head is all they need to know. Just be a commie and you'll be happy forever. My generation was expected. How many of you remember this? Climb a 30-foot rope with a life-saving 2-inch thick mat below. How many of y'all, the girls pretty much watched us, the boys. But man, we went up that rope. I remember going up there smacking a beam up in the roof and then coming back down. How many kids do you think today could do that? Adam Mockler, you think Adam Mockler could do it? He made Scott Jennings mad. I showed you all that video. But I tell you, I have a video I'll have to dig it up. Didn't get a chance to play it, but it's a young lady that is in the service. And it goes to show you this rote learning, how they get talking points drilled in their heads. So before I get to that, this is the last post I saw. Maybe he posted it another time. Before Rudy got sick, okay? He put in $2 billion for nationwide protests with students not in school and workers not at work and flags of communist and enemy countries. This is the biggest communist demonstration probably in American history. Start with, do these kids who every year are seriously declining in math and English have loving parents? Maybe we should have town halls to challenge parents to love and save their children and America. An apropos post from Rudy Giuliani, who we're all thinking about, we're hoping he improves and does better. I'm not sure of his age or the nature of his illness, but we'll see. We'll see. Here you got two different college deans, I guess you say. One from Michigan. Here he is. One from Michigan. This is what he says at graduation. Stinks out the joint with politics. Not only that. Well, I'll play it.
Sing for the pro-Palestinian student activists. Who have, over these past 2 years, opened our hearts to the injustice and inhumanity of Israel's war in Gaza.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and whip up sentiment against Israel and the poor people of Gaza, even though there's been bombs flying over there for decades. Every foggy day, they're lobbing them. No, we should worry about them. So, even Keir Starmer here is softening up on that crap. Prime Minister says some pro-Palestine marches could be stopped due to impact on UK's Jewish community. That's from Sky News. Yeah, you mean people are getting beat up in the streets? And like when we had that Mahmoud Khalil here, beating up other students and keeping students from going to class? Yeah, maybe that does happen. But here's another dean or chancellor or whatever. Which college is it? He's trying to walk to his car, and he's got a bunch of pro-Pally whack jobs. They claim he ran them down. He's trying to back out of his parking space. You know what they do.
Am I allowed to stand here? Ah! He just ran over my f***ing foot!
This video is raising serious questions after an incident Thursday night on Cornell's campus, appearing to show University President Michael Kolikoff reversing his vehicle as students approached. According to students involved, the encounter happened just after an on-campus debate related to Palestine.
We saw the president in the hallway and started to ask him questions about the repression of free speech on campus. So we ended up kind of just walking with him to his car. He got into his car, and as we were still trying to talk to him, he just immediately started reversing into us.
A member of the Students for a Democratic Cornell says Kolikoff backed into one student and ran over another student's foot before leaving the scene.
He reversed into one student, and kind of it accelerated a bit fast back into him. So as I stepped around to get a video angle of that, he rolled over the front of my foot. I think the main emotion was just shock.
A random pedestrian pulling out of a supermarket parking lot would probably have shown more care and regard for the well-being of the young adults that he hit.
In a statement released by the university after the incident, the university president says after introducing the debate, he was in part, quote, accosted by students and non-students who followed him to his car.
Yeah, students and non-students. And they were gathered behind a car so he couldn't back out. Oh, I tried to get myself to get a better video of what was going on, and he ran over my foot. Like he's supposed to sit there and say, oh, take your time and video my car and me, and I'll wait to let me know when you're fit. No, he's trying to leave, you idiots. You know what backup lights are? So let's see what, it's Cornell University. I don't know what kind of stink is going to come out of it. Oh, we got anybody from Canada? Telegraph putting out this crap. Alarm bells for Trump as Mark Carney joins European summit. We could care less. We could care less. You're in the same bunch as Iran and Cuba, all right? If you're going to link arms with the EU. And I saw an article last week where they're sending gas tankers, propane, big, huge tankers over to China, selling it to China. What kind of deals are they giving the people of Canada? Huh? Who's getting the money for that? Believe me, you're going to hear about that. Not a lot of people know about it. Multiple tankers with millions of pounds of propane gas going to China. Who's getting the cash? Who's getting the cash? Oh, I might as well play this for you. We'll take a little break here and watch The World's Dumbest Robbers, what the title was to this. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd acted like this guy acted. She might be dumb, but she's packing heat.
This is a robbery. Okay.
Sit down.
Okay.
Yes, sit down.
There's a robbery.
Calm down.
I'm telling you right now that there's a robbery.
What robbery? Oh my! What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing? The owner in the back room.
The robbery. The robbery. The
Yeah,
robbery.
the owner in the back room. The owner in the back room, run!
What in the world was she thinking? He probably locked the door behind her. But man, that's taking a chance. Just letting her waddle around with a damn pistol. Oh, wow. All right, you're having something good there, Randy. It sounds like you're having something good. Yeah, don't surround a person's car. Make them feel threatened. This is somebody in the average person in a parking lot would have done a better job, she says. I don't know about that. The average person in the parking lot would have probably been wigged out and ran them over. But, okay, so the next thing they're squealing about is this. Spirit Airlines. Whatever happened to the Just Stop Oil crowd? Now they're all hollering about Spirit Airlines. And the messaging is Spirit Airlines shuts down, blames higher oil prices amid Iran war. It's Trump's fault, even though they tried to do merger with, was it JetBlue? And Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buddy Butt turned it down. Wouldn't allow them to do a merger. So that was their death. That was the end of them. When those two wouldn't let that merger happen. But the media, of course, is putting it all on Trump and all on gas prices. And you know what? I'll show you how bad liars they are. The UK is saying they're going to suspend flights if there's gas shortages. There are no gas shortages. Here's proof that they don't realize they're just proving the point. Oil nearing $120 a barrel for the first time since when? 2022. When right in the middle of Joe Biden's term and nobody batted a damn eye. Plus he was snitching out of the reserves, which he shouldn't have been doing, our emergency reserves, to try to control the prices, and it was still near $120 a barrel back in 2022 as Trump maintains Iranian blockade. So now we're in the same situation per barrel. Well, really not as bad. No shortage, but they're acting like the world's coming to an end. But it's all okay under Biden. Here's this Operation Mockingbird. I know you all probably heard a little bit about it, but is anybody reporting on what this means? U.S. to hold hearings on CIA's MK Ultra mind control program on May 13th. Is that going to be tied into Thomas Crooks and this latest guy? Where's that video? Here, let me find it. These guys, I don't think they realize that they're talking about Thomas Crooks and others. They're saying they didn't have a lot of deep thought behind it. Are they kind of admitting that there's some kind of, I don't want to call it hypnosis, but some kind of psychological stimulation? You know, you don't have to have deep thought when you're psychologically compromised doesn't require deep thought. It requires triggers and code words and things like that. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play this, see what you think.
At the 2028 election with a great sense of foreboding. And if you look at who thinks violence is justified, it tends to be younger people by a lot. Most progressives and most conservatives oppose violence, but you get 2.5 times as many progressives say it's justified than not. But what strikes me about this guy, about the guy who shot in Butler, about the guy who shot Charlie Kirk, they haven't seemed to have thought about it that much. Like, it's not like they're radicals who have a big manifesto and an ideology. It seems almost flippant the way they go into these things, almost like half thought through and jokey. And I can't quite make sense of what that kind of lighthearted nihilism that drives people to, on a whim almost, do something that is horrific and life-changing.
Jonathan, how do you look at it?
Well, excuse me, I'm not going to just let the comment that, progressives, more than folks on the far right are, think that violence is justified. It is something that the American people feel they're a little more comfortable with it than they were, say, 5 or 10 years ago. You and I were in that room. We walked through the magnetometers together. We stood in that spot.
Right.
The thing now, a week out, that I've been thinking about, and I keep coming back to it, is that when I heard the 5 bangs, I remember hearing 5 very loud bangs, my immediate action was so instinctive: drop to the floor, under the table, and be quiet. I've never been in a situation like that, but as an American, and certainly as a journalist, having to cover all of these things and to listen to the recordings and the films, you sort of learn through osmosis what to do. And to me, the bigger issue here is gun violence. That why was I not surprised that this had happened? And I've been to that dinner at least a dozen times since 2000. And so, yeah, there's an issue of people feeling that political violence is the way to go and that we are in a highly charged atmosphere. But what's been sort of a specter over all of us for even longer is the scourge of gun violence.
So the second guy just tries to put it all towards gun control. The first guy was saying, these people have no real anchor. They're just doing it like on a whim, a flippant whim. And I want to remind you that one of the first things Comey, one of his first defenses, his friends were defending him on, was that he was just putting up numbers to get attention for his book. It was 8,647 days, and his book would be published. And that's what he was doing. It didn't really have any other meaning beyond that. Well, guess what his book was about? His book was about propaganda. His book was about how to influence people through propaganda and emotional manipulation. To me, MKUltra and Operation Mockingbird are hand in hand. They're hand in hand. One can't work without the other. Manipulating minds. That's what Comey's book was about. So are we going to come to a point here where we see a nexus between illegal psychological warfare campaigns, Operation Mockingbird, and MKUltra, all combined? A U.S. congressional hearing has been scheduled to examine the CIA's controversial Cold War era-minded mind control program, Project MKUltra. The hearing, set for May 13th, was announced by Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna and will focus on the scope of the secret program, which ran from 53 into the 60s. So did Operation Mockingbird. MK Ultra involved in experiments using drugs. Hypnosis and psychological techniques on human subjects, often without their knowledge. I'm sure those drugs had nothing to do with MR and then NA, right? Raising long-standing ethical and legal concerns. I'm sure our phones have nothing to do with it either. The fact that you think about something and then a related subject pops up on your screen, that has nothing to do with Operation Mockingbird or MK Ultra. Don't worry about that. Renewed attention has also been drawn to the mysterious death of scientist Frank Olson, who was unknowingly dosed with LSD and later died under disputed circumstances. Lawmakers say the hearing aims to shed more light on the program and its lasting implications as newly surfaced documents continue to emerge. I'm talking about mass implementation of MK Ultra through Operation Mockingbird and other media manipulation, to include, but not limited to, operations like Midas Trash Network and others of that ilk. Call me crazy, I don't care. Hi, Roland, how you doing? I've been called worse. Speaking of people who have lost their damn minds, this is the pack, the tribe, the clan, whatever you want to call it, of people that have been arrested. I think it's 3 of them. The father and a couple of daughters for attacking that young lady reporter. Well, there's another daughter. What's her name? I'll show you in a second. That tried to distance herself from her lunatic family. Christina Guaya reported it. Man who was indicted for assaulting a conservative female is reportedly suing his daughter over a $1,000 loan she needed to escape an abusive relationship. Chris and Deanna, whatever the hell that last name is, who along with their daughter Paige allegedly assaulted Savannah Hernandez, filed a lawsuit last week against their estranged daughter, Desiree Ostroshuko, whatever. They are demanding she repay $1,076.41. They say they loaned her, plus court filing fees. The couple says Desiree borrowed the money but never paid it back. The lawsuit was filed right after Desiree publicly criticized them for allegedly assaulting Hernandez. Desiree said her family has been behaving badly for years, and she's distanced herself from them. Well, good for you, young lady. She says the money was a gift that turned retaliatory after her public stance against them. Parents suing their kid. Video show Paige blowing a whistle directly into Hernandez's ears, shoving her into a fence, and then Deanna and Paige jumping Hernandez, then Chris violently shoving Hernandez to the ground while yelling. All 3 of them, whatever their names are, Christopher, Deanna, and Paige, each face assault charges. Chris and Paige also face felony charges for interfering with federally protected activity, intimidating a journalist on federal property. The first court appearances, May 12th. Chris, or what's his face, also faces a state misdemeanor of 5th-degree assault charge in Hennepin County. Well, all right, so he's suing his good daughter. The daughter that doesn't go around assaulting people and screaming and yelling, interfering with law enforcement like lunatics. I want to know, how much assistance has you or your family gotten, Mr. or whatever your face is? Maybe none. Maybe none. But I think it should be publicly known. You know, people get Social Security, things they earned, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, that kind of stuff. No. People don't need to know. But I think it should be public knowledge. Anybody on the government dole, food stamps, housing. Well, I fell on some bad times. I need a house to stay in. Okay, we'll give you $10,000. How about you? Workers' comp? Anything like that? But your daughter, $1,000 because she's calling you out for acting like an animal? A criminal? So hopefully that daughter will come out of it all right. It sounds like she's already doing better, just by recognizing them. Here's a case nobody's been talking about. Who's this guy? Former U.S. Representative David Rivera, convicted by a jury. What did he do? A former Miami congressman and longtime friend of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was convicted Friday in connection with a secret $50 million lobbying campaign on behalf of Venezuela during the first Trump administration. See, we don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. All of them, uniparty, Democrat, Republican, they're going down. Nobody's walking, okay? And guess what? They show this picture of him. But the truth is, that's an old picture. He didn't walk out of that courthouse. He's in jail till sentencing because he's a flight risk. But you don't hear much about it. U.S. Representative, Congressman Mockingbird Singh, his sentencing's coming up. $50 million from a regime which we've had armed conflict with. Here's some more garbage about Germany. Remember I told you Zelensky was mouthing off that Germany was using its auto industry to make bombs to throw over Russia, right? Like Germany needs that kind of heat. Well, here it is. Germany is preparing supply lines for a war. It is far from ready. Germany is preparing its civilian infrastructure for a possible war, despite the lack of funds in the Bundeswehr budget. A 1.35 billion euro modernization project has begun at the Bremen port, after which you will be able to load 60-ton Leopard tanks, but they probably won't have the tanks. That's on top of the Krauts telling Trump, saying Trump was embarrassed in front of the world and we don't know what we're doing. And Zelensky saying that they're giving him explosives and stuff for Russia. And Russia saying, well, we're going to hit decision-making centers. And Trump's latest response was to tell them to mind their own flipping business. I don't know what's going on with Germany. I got another report about them. About $100 and some billion they can't account for, but I'll read this one for now. Trump is considering several scenarios for a change of power in Cuba, but it is not yet betting on a complete dismantling of the regime, writes Politico. According to the newspapers, you call that a newspaper? Washington is discussing an option which part of the Cuban leadership should step down. But the talk may not be about a complete overthrow of power, but a targeted replacement of key figures. More stringent measures up to the use of force are also under consideration, but priority is given to diplomatic pressure. Thus, Washington is not in a hurry to give in to the demands of the Cuban diaspora to solve the Cuban issue with harsh methods. Recall, the American president yesterday promised to send the fleet after Iran to the shores of Cuba. Well, who knows? He could give him a certain timeline and play it cool and then do another Venezuela. Here we go. The German Defense Ministry. Now you got to remember, Germany was split in two, East Germany and West Germany, up until the fall of the Berlin Wall. They didn't have reunification until 1991. East Germany was communist to the bone, all right? We got remnants of that we're dealing with. German Defense Ministry fails to explain how the $111 billion associated for military needs since 2022 were spent. In response to a journalist's question, the department press secretary, Natalie Janning, was unable to provide information on a number of military equipment that was put into service and ready for operation by April 1st, 2026. They got nothing. The money's all been pilfered and stolen. She called keeping such records a meaningless action. Oh, really? $111 billion? Oh, keeping track of that's stupid. We're not going to worry about that. Sound like a Democrat. The president of Cuba announced an increasing threat of invasion of the island by the USA. President Diaz-Canel stated that the U.S. military is threatening Cuban with military means and called on the international community to put pressure on the Americans. No aggressor, no matter how powerful he may be, will find surrendered people in Cuba. He will face a people determined to defend their sovereignty and independence on every inch of their national territory. Yeah, right. They ain't even got nothing to eat. Okay? What they're worried about is their personal safety. That's what they're worried about. Just like the Republican Guard is worried about their safety. What the people will do to them if they can get their hands on them. Well, the UK puts out this big alert. Here it is. United Kingdom Maritime Traffic put out another ship has been attacked by the Iranians. This is supposed to be 4. New, the captain of a bulk carrier 11 nautical miles west of Sarik, Iran, reported being attacked by several small craft. Well, there he is. Okay, upper right-hand corner, you see Sarik, Iran, and that red dot is where the ship is. Over there on the Iranian side. Well, there's supposed to be, through the whole conflict, 4 boats attacked by small boats, mosquito boats. And this is the 4th one. We saw the video of a 3rd one, and it was obviously staged. But anyway, so UK, do something about it. If you're worried about it, we don't. That was my take. We don't need anything out of there. We're just stopping the financing of a terrorist regime and blockading their ports. You got a problem with other ships being harassed. You're supposed to be the big shot over there. Do something about it. No, well, Trump's Trump knows they're not going to, so he put out a statement that we're gonna protect shipping. Wait, and it is for, as he said, sanitary reasons, humanitarian reasons. We can't. There are people been on those boats for months. Countries from all over the world, almost all of which were not involved in Middle Eastern dispute going on so visibly and violently for all to see, have asked the United States if we could help free up their ships, which are locked in the Strait of Hormuz, on something which they have absolutely nothing to do with. They are merely neutral and innocent bystanders. For the good of Iran, the Middle East, and the United States, we have told these countries we will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so they can freely and ably get on with their business. Again, these ships are from areas of the world that are not in any way involved with that which is currently taking place in the Middle East. He's as I go on with this, you'll see, he's given Iran some pats on the head. I have told my representatives to inform them that we will use best efforts to get their ships and crews safely out of the strait. In all cases, they said they will not be returning until the area becomes safe for navigation and everything else. This process, Project Freedom, will begin Monday morning Middle East time. I am fully aware that my representatives are having very positive discussions with the country of Iran, and that these discussions could lead to something very positive for us all. Prior to that, remember, he was saying, I don't think they got anything I'm interested in. So that's a good signal. The ship movement is merely meant to free up people, companies, and countries that have done absolutely nothing wrong. They are victims of circumstances. This is a humanitarian gesture on behalf of the United States, Middle Eastern countries, but in particular the country of Iran. So he's putting Iran in the same bowl as the U.S., other Middle Eastern countries that are doing something for humanitarian purposes, giving them that chance. Olive branch. Many of these ships are running low on food and everything else necessary for large-scale crews to stay on board in healthy and sanitary manner. I think it would go a long way in showing goodwill on behalf of those who have been fighting so strenuously over the last number of months. If in any way this humanitarian process is interfered with, that interference will, unfortunately, have to be dealt with forcefully. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, for all the Congress clowns talking about war powers, we're conducting a humanitarian operation, and if people interfere with it, we're just going to do a police action. There you have it. Like it or not. No, you can't do your war powers. Look here. What's this? Lives a TikTok. You know, I was going to say how they're manipulating the media. My first video I played showed you how happy they were Trump got censored. We've all seen it over the last 10 years, people getting their channels taken down, getting shut out, blocked out, Facebook jail, all that stuff. They got a new way of doing it that Lives a TikTok reminded me. I'll talk about it in a second, but Lives a TikTok, former New Jersey mayoral candidate Henrillian Ibizim. Did I get that right? Sounds Irish. Henrillian Ibizim, Democrat, pleaded guilty to forging nearly 1,000 voter registration applications. The thing that never happens happened again. There he is. What's his pedigree? Naturalized? Denaturalize and deport. Trump posted this about the renovation of the reflecting pool. They wouldn't even dream of getting in that water. It was daggone filthy. Trump put up a lot of different pictures about that reflecting pool. He put up American flag blue. That's what the outside color is going to be. American flag blue. The before and after pictures, it was like a sewer. Here's another picture Trump put up yesterday. I got this on my Rumble page, I believe. No, I think I got this on my Truth Social. The same picture. On my banner. Ha 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 ha. But Trump posted it yesterday. And he put this up. You know, between the passports getting Trump's picture on it, there's going to be coins with Trump's face on them. That's legal tender. Bridges, all this, airports. These liberals are either going to be like electroshock therapy where they come to their senses from driving themselves so insane over nothing, or they'll just go completely cuckoo and we just give them oatmeal and tapioca 3 days, three times a day, and keep them some institution or something. I don't know. What you going to do with them? What we'll end up doing with them? Canada. Listen, before I read this article, keep in mind that Dr. Death, what was his name? Dr. Kevorkian. Keep in mind, here in the U.S., Dr. Kevorkian died in prison as a criminal. Before I read you this article. But apparently, in Canada, that stuff's okay. A 79-year-old Catholic priest, Father Larry Holland, who is recovering from a hip fracture at Vancouver General Hospital in Canada, said he was offered medical assistance in dying, made twice by hospital staff, even though he made it clear he is a Catholic priest and morally opposed to euthanasia. So they're putting psychological pressure on him. Would you trust their care when they bring you a cup of pills? Or in the middle of the night when the lights are out and somebody comes in your room and starts messing with your IV? Would you trust these animals? And remember, like I said, Kevorkian died in prison as a common criminal for doing exactly what they're doing. Oh, this was just before Midas Trash Pail started complaining about Trump, saying he's threatening them. Take the poll now. Who's doing it? Who's doing it? Oh, Midas Trash Pail Network. We will share the results on Capitol Hill. Answer here. Don't forget, they block people. Okay, they mute comments. They censor comments, people who tell them what they are. So what do you think they're going to do with poll numbers? They're going to take to Capitol Hill. Who's financing these people? Take the poll now. Should Democrats impeach Trump if they take control of Congress? Right there at the bottom, MTN, Midas Trash Network. So believe me, if there's some kind of legal action, suing might be the least that would happen to them. If there's a nexus that ties them in with illegal psychological warfare campaigns and incitement of public hostility. Like this. Jack Posobiec, I talked about this the other broadcasts. There's currently a TikTok trend of the Charlie Kirk murder audio where young people react to it and laugh as they fall over grabbing their neck. They'll play the audio where Charlie Kirk says his last words, and you hear the crack of the shot. And the kids are listening to that and laugh and grab their neck and fall over. And they repeat it over and over and over. That's the TikTok trend. The average person has no idea how bad it's going to get. We got a desensitized, vicious, Marxist-centric group that has been coming up through our education system. And people are snowed, whether it's willingly or just they're overwhelmed. They're duped and snowed. At least you got the California Post. New York Post is now posting California. Fuming. 2 gas stations. How far apart? 2 miles apart. Expose how we're being fleeced by Newsom. On the left, it's $6.99. On the right, it's $4.09. Time for people to wake the hell up as to who's ripping off who. And, I've been saying about Bill Maher, even though, I don't care for him. I think he's a rude, nasty prevo. But I said, well, maybe he's been activated into a Truth and Reconciliation Act. Here's a video he just did. I'm playing this because Trump really raked him over the coals about how he let Gavin Newsom run over top of him unchallenged. But anyway, he did this video, I think it was Friday or Saturday.
I would just like to say, if you're one of these people, and there's many in this country who watched that and was disappointed the president wasn't killed. See, they're laughing at that. You're not a good person or a smart person, but definitely not a good person. I was reading this in your paper, interview with Governor Pritzker of Illinois, and they asked him, like, well, what does the next president have to be? And he said, good, decent, and kind, which who can disagree with that? And certainly Trump has often not been good, decent, or kind.
Right, but also...
But he's not Hitler. The liberals used to always say, and they were right to say it, that a lot of this very violent rhetoric that we hear on the left, it inspires the borderline personality to then do something. And they were right. I never thought they were wrong. But the shoe's on the other foot now. I mean, it's on both feet, but you got to own this kind of rhetoric. And, if you call Trump, this is why I was against this, he's Hitler bullshit. I mean, if you really believe that he is a Hitler McPedophile, then you kind of have to kill him. That's the mentality they have.
So he said, if we wanted Trump to lose his life, you're not a good person. And you heard everything else that he said. And he had his chance with Gavin Newsom, and he fumbled the ball. Trump put out a big, long post about it, which I won't read. But the last one he put about Bill Maher was, Bill Maher got eaten up by Gavin Newsom when Newsom said how well California is doing. A complete lie. Well, as a matter of fact, Bill Maher could have held up that newspaper I just showed you. And Bill Maher never challenged him, not even a little bit. Also, Bill Maher's ratings suck. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, Bill Maher could have asked him about that railway. Could have asked him about fraud. Could ask him about why the hell did you starve people of water while their houses burned to the damn ground. He could ask him a lot of stuff. So you better sharpen your pencil, Bill Maher. Because I think you got a little more hanging over you than most people know. And you better give material assistance in this operation. This counter-insurgency, which is us. And a counter-psyop, which is the truth. So here's what Trump put about Rudy Giuliani, our fabulous Rudy Giuliani, a true warrior and the best mayor in history of New York City by far, has been hospitalized and is in critical condition. What a tragedy that he was treated so badly by all the radical left lunatics, Democrats all, and he was right about everything. They cheated on the elections, fabricated hundreds of stories, did anything possible to destroy our nation. And now look at Rudy. So sad. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, I mean, it takes a toll on your physical. Stress is a killer. I talked in the past about cortisol. Very corrosive. Very corrosive. And you can't help but be stressed out. You're in your 80s and your life is being pilfered. Speaking of somebody losing their life, Fraternal Order police president in Chicago is livid after an officer was executed by a scumbag. You know, I know people have their careers to worry about. Trump has brought it up before about the police. They got families to feed. They got their careers, you know, but at some point, you gotta take a stand. And maybe we're seeing the beginning of it here.
The smug attitude, the smiling, the smirking, the laughing, the I love yous from the family, even after hearing the despicable acts that this piece of did, it's appalling, it's disgusting. It's the reason the death penalty should still be in Illinois. One is enough. We keep talking about one is enough when we talk about a police-involved shooting. One is too many. What about one police officer being murdered? It's never too many. We are sacrificial lambs for the politicians in this city and state. It needs to stop. It just does.
Yeah, well, they need to get a little more animated. And you need to get active. Get people in government that are not on the take all the time. The TAKE. Look at this garbage. Who's this guy? I've talked about these types. Citizen Free Press put this up. Attention, David Ellison. This garbage goes unchallenged on CNN. You need to fire Manu Raju. How many times have I said it? Why am I getting my so-called news from somebody called Manu Raju? Okay? What happened to Walter Cronkite? Now you get the news from me. Oh, who's that? How do you spell that? But anyway, here we go.
To follow up on that question, do you personally see parallels between Nazi Germany and what's happening under the Trump administration?
Yeah, I do. It is deeply concerning that we see an authoritarian slide, and as we talked about earlier, dividing people against each other to convince people that if you're not doing well economically, it's somebody else's fault is an incredibly dangerous place for us to be in. I don't think that...
Did you hear that? She said, if you're not, it's incredibly dangerous to tell people if you're not doing well economically, it's somebody else's fault. What the hell do you think the Marxist rallies were all about? But they're turning it around, they're mirroring it back. That's all Marxism, communism is, class warfare. Turn people against other people. Well, I don't have as many potatoes as the guy up the road. Well, you got the right to go down there and beat the hell out of him and take his potatoes, okay?
A lot of people would argue that there are shades of authoritarianism here that we need to be deeply concerned about.
I might have speeded that video up by accident. I don't know. You get the gist. You get the gist. Where's that? All right. Is this? This is where Todd Blanche. Now, I want to ask y'all something. Is this about? This is about illegal voting. I'm gonna play that clip if I can find of Todd Blanche talking about Comey. What else? If you know, put it in the chats. What else do you think they got on Comey? Other than the 8647 Snapchat he sent out. What else do you think they got on Comey? Put it in the comments and, be careful with your terms and everything. But I'll tell you what, one of the things people have forgotten about. But anyway, here's Todd Blanche talking about they're going to start rounding up these people that have been cheating in elections.
Seen is a 24,000% increase over the last administration in prosecuting people who voted illegally. That's something that is a priority of President Trump. It's a priority. It should be a priority of every American, by the way, but it's certainly a priority of this Department of Justice, and we're going to continue to do it. And I expect that you'll see additional prosecutions in the coming months for anybody that voted illegally.
And one other question, final question
on
our way out here.
This is fluff and puff now. But yeah, there's going to be more prosecutions of people who voted illegally. Let me see. I have this clip. Let's see what this is. Full of hot air. $2.2 billion Obama-era solar plant inefficient, kills wildlife. I don't think that's what this is about, but let's see.
Headlines. In Florida, a man was arrested at Trump Doral National Golf Club after allegedly getting physical with a Secret Service agent. This comes just 1 week after a gunman opened fire at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The Secret Service saying, quote, the individual became disruptive and failed to comply with lawful orders. He then made physical contact with a member of the Secret Service and was taken into custody. The president was not on site at the time. That's what they say. So he has been charged with disorderly conduct and resisting without violence.
Disorderly conduct and resisting without violence. There's somebody that's got rocks in their damn head. You're going to sit there and argue with the Secret Service? Are you out of your damn mind? I've interacted with the Secret Service on more than one occasion, and they're polite and professional. But you do what they tell you to do. I mean, you have to have rocks in your head. Sit there and get into some kind of fuss or argument with them. Probably some guy had 3 sheets to the wind and got a lot of money and thinks a lot of himself. Let me see. This is Scott Bessent. The one I had on Comey was a short video saying they had other things. But anyway, let me see what Bessent's got to say.
I saw that Intel was doing very well in the last quarterly numbers, and the stock reacted. What should we expect from Intel?
Intel, under the Biden administration, the CHIPS Act was supposed to help create national champions, and part of what President Trump has given this administration the order to do is to make sure that we are secure economically, and we are trying to bring back key industries, whether it is semiconductors, critical minerals, our pharmaceutical supply chains, steel. And with Intel is our national champion. With semiconductors, the government took a stake several months ago under President Trump's direction. I was in the Oval when he told the CEO of Intel that he would like a 10% stake. The CEO turned it over, and the U.S. government's made between $30 and $40 billion on that, and no one wants to give the president wants to give the president credit for that. And he is working for the American people every day. So not only, Maria, not only do we have more national security, we have a more resilient balance sheet.
Yeah, does Midas Trash Network ever say one peep about that? About the billions of dollars Trump has saved us and brought in through investment? Not one damn peep. A bunch of insurrectionist trash, in my opinion. In my opinion. I just put a link in for buy me a coffee in the chats at the 148 mark if anybody wants to help the channel out. Ha ha ha! And I do appreciate Miss Bender Sue and her Moab. Boom! Ha ha ha! And Mike and Bev. Kapow! And Robin and Wayne. Kapow! Here, boom, boom for Robin and Wayne. And hilarious too. Ha ha ha! For helping out this first week of May. I do appreciate it. Yeah, let's not wish our time away. It is going fast, though, isn't it, folks? It is going fast. There's all the booms from Miss Bender, Sue, and Cole. Ha ha ha. So, yeah, nobody ever on Midas Trash Network speaks the word. I think we're coming close to getting to a nexus. I think it's not for nothing we're having these hearings about MK Ultra. That Comey's book is going to be brought up about psychological manipulation in the media. Okay? And we've got a nexus coming up. I'm going to play this video of Trump buzzing all the crazy lunatics who want a communist society for the May Day protests. And what else do? I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me, as always. And if you're not subscribed, why not? If you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. You could be part of the chats or just watch the chats go by. So anyway, folks, enjoy this clip of Donald J. Trump buzzing a bunch of lunatic protesters, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Citizenship is under attack.